Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. I am Pooja Divedi, and in this segment we bring to you objective questions on a daily basis to help you crack prelims. So let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. We had to match the wildlife sanctuary to the states they belong to. Karakoram Wildlife Sanctuary belongs to Himachal Pradesh, Indian Wild Ass Sanctuary belongs to Gujarat, and Rola Padu Wildlife Sanctuary belongs to Andhra Pradesh, whereas Grizzled Squirrel Wildlife Sanctuary belongs to Tamil Nadu. So we had to choose the pair which is or are incorrectly matched. If we talk about Karakoram Wildlife Sanctuary, this belongs to Ladakh and not Himachal Pradesh, so the first statement is incorrectly matched. While the rest of the statements are correctly matched, these pairs are correctly matched. The correct answer would be option A, that is one only. Moving on to the explanation. Karakoram Wildlife Sanctuary is located in Ladakh, and we have already talked about the rest of the sanctuaries. Moving on. Atmospheric blocking, recently seen in the news, is related to. It is related to decrease in snowfall to a weather phenomenon. And recently a study has been found that Greenland is becoming darker and darker and warmer also due to a weather pattern that is pushing fresh snowfall away from its ice sheet. A reduction in the amount of fresh, light-colored snow leaves more old and dark snow exposed, which in turn it causes the ice to absorb more and more heat as it is darker in nature, and as we know, absorption by darker surfaces is much more quicker and more intensified, and that is why the snow will melt faster. Whereas albedo, this phenomenon is related to the reflecting of the light away from the surface of the earth with the help of snow. So I hope you understood it. As snow ages, even over hours to a few days, there is a reduction in reflectivity. And that's why the fresh snow is so important. This decrease in snowfall to a weather phenomenon is called atmospheric blocking, in which persistent high pressure systems hover over the ice sheet for weeks at a time. Moving on. Iran shares boundaries with which of the following countries? Pakistan, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia or Oman? So we have to select the correct answer. So it shares its boundaries with Pakistan, Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia. The correct answer would be option D. Iran is bounded to the north by Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkmenistan and the Caspian Sea, to the east by Pakistan and Afghanistan, to the south by the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, and the west it has Turkey and Iraq, and it shares maritime borders with Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Look at the map. This is Iran and it shares the boundaries with the aforementioned countries in the order. Consider the following statements on Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Nidhi. It is a lapsable reserve fund for health in the public account. Proceeds of share of health in the health and education cess will be credited to PMSSN. So we have to select the correct statement. If we talk about the first statement, it is a non-lapsable reserve fund for health in the public account. So the first statement is incorrect. While the second statement is correct, the correct answer would be option B. Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Nidhi is a single non-lapsable reserve fund for health in the public account. Proceeds of health and education cess will be credited into PMSSN and are levied under Section 136B of Finance Act 2007. Moving on. World's oldest known cave art, which is a life-sized picture of a wild pig that was painted at least 45,500 years ago, was discovered in. It was discovered in the island of Sulawesi. If you have heard about it, then option A is correct, Indonesia. Recently, archaeologists have discovered the world's oldest known cave art, which is a life-sized picture of a wild pig that was painted at least 45,500 years ago, was founded in the Neng Tedongme cave in a remote valley on the island of Sulawesi, Indonesia. Moving on, zeolites seen in the news is related to. Option are given over here and the correct answer would be option A, adsorbent material used in medical oxygen plants. What is the process of being an adsorbent? It means any solid material which holds on to the liquid or gaseous molecules of any other material. So option A is correct. Zeolites are used as adsorbent materials. An oxygen concentrator uses zeolites to absorb atmospheric nitrogen and then vents out the nitrogen. This leaves oxygen gas remaining to be used for patients. And this technology is being developed by the DRDO. It uses the pressure swing adsorption process and molecular sieve zeolite in oxygen generation. Quinchombe, seen in the news, is related to option A, meteorite. The National History Museum located in London is to display a piece of the meteorite that touched down the town of Quinchombe in Gloucestershire in the UK. The meteorite touched the UK soil in February 2021. Moving on, Cyclone Tauktae, recently seen in the news, has been named by which of the following countries? It has been named by Myanmar. It has been actually named as Tauktae, T-A-U, pronounced as Tauktae, and it is named after a gecko lizard, which is a vocal lizard in the Burmese language. The severe cyclonic storm Tauktae has left a trail of destruction as it swept through the coastal states of Kerala, Karnataka, Goa and Maharashtra, and it has been named by Myanmar. It recently only made a landfall in Gujarat. Moving on, consider the following statements. In India, snow leopards occupy the western and eastern Himalayas. Snow leopards are listed as critically endangered in the IUCN Red List, and snow leopard is the state animal of Himachal Pradesh. We have to select the correct statement. Yes, in India, snow leopards occupy the western and eastern Himalayas. This is correct. They are not listed as critically endangered but vulnerable. Keep this in mind in the IUCN Red List. And the third statement is correct. It is the state animal of Himachal Pradesh. The correct answer would be option B. In a recent report, the Wildlife Fund for Nature, WWF, it claimed that more than 70% of the habitat of the snow leopard over 12 Asian countries remains unresearched. And we have already discussed these two statements, so we shall skip it, and also this one. And it is also the national heritage animal of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Moving on, consider the following statements regarding the Kathkari tribe. Kathkari is one of the 75 particularly vulnerable tribal groups, and these are located in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. The correct answer we have to choose. Yes, Kathkari is one of the 75 particularly vulnerable tribal groups, and these are located in Gujarat and Maharashtra. So only the first option is correct, the correct answer. Moving on, the second statement here, it says Kathkaris are located primarily in Raigad and in parts of Palghar, Ratnagiri and Thane districts of Maharashtra, as well as in some places in Gujarat. Moving on, Asian gracile skink, recently seen in the news, has been discovered in which of the following states? It has been discovered in, come on, take a guess, in Tamil Nadu. So recently a new species of an Asian gracile skink has been discovered recently at Anaikatti Hills, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Its name is Subdulucus nilgiriensis after the Nilgiris. The reptile has a slender body of just about 7 cm and is sandy brown in color. It is closely related to Subdulucus pruthi that is found in parts of the Eastern Ghats. Moving on, let's look at our practice question for the next segment. Consider the following statements. There is no prescribed procedure for the appointment of the Chief Election Commissioner as per the Constitution. And the Secretariat of the Election Commission is located in New Delhi, so we have to select the correct statement. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated, stay safe, and thank you so much for watching.